Good morning. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Yes, your presentation is very clearly seen. Welcome you at our seminar. I'm Olga Bazhynova, head of the client service unit of the Central Depository of Ukraine. The presentation will tell you about the new possibilities given by the depository to securities owners in terms of corporate action. In 2018, the Central Depository set up a modern, quick and reliable remote service system, which is implemented as a web application. It uses qualified electronic signature and stamp. More than 70% of active clients have opted for this client channel of communication with the central depository. The web interface, 80% of corporate action is processed through the web service. We work on expanding the web service functionality expansion so that all the operations are digitalized. From the 1st of July, IC code will be accessible also through the web interface. Now, these are the opportunities that the clients has 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, hours a day, 7 days a week. They have access to the documents which they generated. They can deposit global certificates. You can place notifications on revenues, proceeds. They can also place the statements and inform shareholders on corporate actions and do many other things. Like in many other countries, we are under quarantine for more than 1 year, and the current law on corporate action requires that we continue to hold annual shareholders meeting. But the lockdown took us by surprise, and sometimes it is impossible to meet personally. Last year, the law was put in place enabling remote shareholder meetings. This, since the law was put in place, in about 45 days, we developed a format for remote meetings so that corporations and investment funds can do that. And these are the services that the Central Depository provides, such as notification through the depository system, generation of owners list who are notified about the meeting, and the list of eligible participants, and special web service for remote support of general meetings. More than 60 general meetings have been carried out through us, and to understand, for the understanding of the clients, we to make the clients understand how it is done, we have implemented webinars and training sessions more than 5 times, and the clients have appreciated the convenience. Another new thing, Ukraine now has in place a new law on capital and organized markets, which specifies how bond holders must be held. Since the 1st of July, all such meetings must be remote and exercised through the automated electronic system. This is our in-house hardware and software system, which is also authorized by the National Securities Commission, which meets the requirements for bondholders meetings. The system ensures that the participants and holders of securities can be identified and registered. Also, availability of all documents that participants in the meeting can view before the meeting. It also ensures voting and decision making and debate on the agenda uh, and automated vote counting, and formulation of decisions. Shareholder meetings will be covered by the following tools, or following instruments: uh, corporate bonds, internal local bonds, domestic bonds, which will be covered since the 1st of January, also mortgage bonds and mortgage bonds issued by international financial organizations. This will ensure that the key decisions will be made by the bond owner. To promptly respond to corporate actions, such meetings can be organized in at very short notice. To the right, I have listed the uh, opportunities which the issuers are given. For example, possibility to amend the prospectus and change the issue dates and maturities, denomination, and determining the list of persons who can be uh, given collateral. All these changes can be made by issuers and owners or administrator who can be appointed by bondholders for the purpose of exercising their rights. In order to participate in the meeting, the bondholder will just enter the web page in the automated electronic system and just vote. All the functionality of the electronic system was fully designed and developed by the central depository team. This is a huge work. It is based on up-to-date data protection technology, and this is a major step towards the introduction of the nationwide system of electronic shareholders meetings. And this is how the bond owners meeting takes place. The person responsible for the meeting goes into agreement with the central depository. This is a physical person who is authorized to access the electronic system, and that person will create the meeting and manage it. The central depository, in this case, is the technical administrator of the system, providing the service to the responsible person. Depository institutions, in this case, may be representatives of proxies of the bond holders, while the bondholder provides to the deposit institution information on its proxy or votes independently or through the proxy. From the 1st of July, there will be amendments also to the process, which involves messages delivery through the depository system. This is related to what I said before about the bondholders meetings, but the new participants are added to that and new types of movements. As of today, we have a link which operates since 2017 between the issuer and the bondholder for notification of corporate actions. For example, notification through the depository system is done on the forthcoming shareholder meeting. This year, notifications on almost 300 securities issues were delivered through the system. The new law will introduce the shareholder rights directive compliance, and also there will be 3 notification types. The first type is not much different from what we have now, but it has some additional types of participants, including the administrator or issuer's representative, who uses the system to notify the ultimate beneficiary of the proposed corporate action. this arrangement is represented here. The second arrangement is backwards, from holder to the issuer. When the issuer delivers order for notification to the issuer through the central depository, when the holder, for example, wants to amend the agenda of the meeting, then the depository institution sends to the central depository of Ukraine an order to deliver this message to the issuer or to the other owners. And this arrangement will be operational since the 1st of July. The first type implies a situation when the client of central depository wants to send certain notification through the depository system to another depository system client. And in this case, it is the central depository that delivers the notification to the final addressee. Who can use this service? The person responsible for the meeting, shareholders and bondholders, holders of more than 25% of bonds, who can notify either the administrator or the persons who collateral. And there are not, these are the lines along which notices can be sent. For example, bondholders can notify the issuer, the administrator, and the person responsible for the meeting. We have tested new functionality that will operate through the client web interface, and from the 1st of July, this will be put into actual operation. And the last piece of news, something unusual and new that we have, a new instrument, that is bank deposit certificate. In Ukraine now, you can issue a special type of non-tradable security, which is savings certificate. It stays with the bank. It's not very popular in Ukraine, but in a week from now, the bank certificates will become an issuable paper and will be registered not by the Securities Commission, unlike others, but by the central depository. And it can be traded in the secondary market, including an organized market. They will be recorded in the depository system, and the income will be paid also through the depository system. So how are the bank certificates issued through the depository system? The issuer goes into agreement with the Central Depository of Ukraine. It receives the ISIN or layer code, unless they already have it. And if they have public offering, the issuer places the order for bank certificates through our online web service. The Central Depository transfers the certificates to investors or depository institutions. Then the issuer has the global certificate issued, and it is registered by the central bank. The issuer places the order for issue redemption, and the central depository can exercise a partial redemption on the initiative of the issuer if the issue was not fully placed by the issuer. Bank certificates constitute a totally new instrument for us. It would be interesting to know if other depositories work with that or not. It is convenient and quick in terms of purchasing and secondary placement, including through organized trading. What is also interesting, the issue is registered by the central depository in just one day. which is very quick. Bank certificates can be interest-bearing or non-interest bearing. Income payment, settlement, and redemption can be all done through the depository system, and the registration will be all done by the central depository. That's all on my part, and I wish all of us to go from lockdown as soon as possible. Well, I like working from home because my lunch is always the best I can have, and my contact details are here on the last page. Thank you, Olga. Very interesting. I also wanted to ask you a question on the formats that you use. Are they internal formats or ISO? These are internal standards which our software uses, but also ISO 15022. And we have also online service, which is used by our client web interface. Another question: does the National Depository of Ukraine also perform the function of registry or other separate registry institutes? No, it's only us. Yes, so you centralize the registration service as well. Right. Thank you for these responses and for your presentation as well. We were happy to have you with us. Have a nice day, and we'll see you later.